Hey there. What's up, YouTube fam? It's Social Celebrity Lifestyle here, and I'm back with another juicy celebrity story that's gonna have you on the edge of your seats. Today, we're diving into the dramatic real-life saga of the one and only Diddy, the legendary hip-hop mogul who's been hit with a slew of lawsuits that have him scrambling to stay afloat. Now, I know Diddy like the back of my hand. The guy's a living legend, a true icon in the music industry. But even the most successful celebs can't escape the clutches of the legal system, and that's exactly what Diddy's been dealing with lately. It's a story filled with heartbreak, betrayal, and the desperate need to keep his empire intact. So, sit back, grab your popcorn, and get ready for an emotional roller coaster, because we're about to unpack Diddy's massive downfall and the shocking steps he's taking to try and save himself. It all started back in 2022. When Diddy was hit with not one, not two, but 12 separate lawsuits, totaling a staggering $12 million in legal fees. Can you even imagine having to deal with that kind of pressure? I mean, that's enough to make anyone's head spin. The lawsuits came from all angles: former business partners, disgruntled employees, even a few celebrity friends who felt they got the short end of the stick in their dealings with Diddy. And let me tell you, these weren't your run-of-the-mill cases. We're talking allegations of fraud, breach of contract, even wrongful termination. Diddy's reputation was on the line, big time. Now, you'd think a guy as rich and successful as Diddy would be able to shrug this off, right? Wrong. These lawsuits hit him where it hurts the most: his beloved business empire. See, Diddy's built this incredible lifestyle for himself, with multiple successful companies, investments, and of course, that jaw-dropping $70 million mansion in the heart of Los Angeles. But with all these legal battles raging, Diddy's found himself in a really tough spot. He's got to find a way to pay for these lawsuits, and fast, or else risk losing everything he's worked so hard to build. And that's where the real drama starts to unfold. Diddy's solution? Sell off his crown jewel, that stunning $70 million mansion that's been his pride and joy for years. Can you imagine the heartbreak he must be feeling, having to part ways with a home that holds so many precious memories? It's like watching a piece of your soul get ripped away. But Diddy knows he doesn't have a choice. These lawsuits are threatening to topple his entire empire, and he's got to do whatever it takes to stay afloat. So, he's put the mansion on the market, and let me tell you, the bidding war is already heating up. Wealthy buyers from all over the world are lining up, eager to snatch up this stunning property. And as Diddy navigates this whole mess, I can only imagine the emotional toll it's taking on him. The guy's built this incredible life, this amazing legacy, and now he's forced to watch it all potentially crumble before his eyes. It's enough to make anyone's heart break. But you know what they say, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And that's exactly what Diddy's doing. He's fighting tooth and nail to save his empire, to protect the future of his business, and to ensure that his name and legacy remain untarnished. It's a true David versus Goliath story, and we're all on the edge of our seats, waiting to see how it all plays out. So, stick around, my friends, because this is just the beginning of Diddy's dramatic saga. There's so much more to unpack, so many more twists and turns ahead. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss a single second of it. All right. Let's dive a little deeper into the heart-wrenching details of Diddy's legal woes, shall we? As I mentioned, this all started back in 2022 when the lawsuits started pouring in. And let me tell you, these weren't your typical run-of-the-mill cases. These were heavy hitters that threatened to completely upend Diddy's carefully constructed empire. The first lawsuit came from a former business partner, a guy named John Smith who had worked with Diddy on a number of high-profile projects over the years. Now, by all accounts, these two used to be as thick as thieves, but somewhere along the way, things went sour. Smith claimed that Diddy had defrauded him out of millions of dollars, and he was demanding his cut of the profits. Now, Diddy, being the savvy businessman that he is, tried to settle this one out of court. He offered Smith a hefty sum of money, hoping to make the whole thing go away quietly. But Smith wasn't having it. He wanted his day in court, and he was determined to take Diddy down, no matter the cost. And that was just the beginning. Soon after, Diddy was hit with a series of lawsuits from former employees, all of whom claimed they'd been wrongfully terminated or mistreated during their time working for the mogul. These weren't just low-level employees either. We're talking about high-ranking executives who'd been a part of Diddy's inner circle for years. One former marketing director claimed Diddy had fired her after she refused to engage in some shady accounting practices. Another ex-HR manager alleged that Diddy had created a hostile work environment filled with favoritism and discrimination. The list went on, and each lawsuit seemed more damaging than the last. But perhaps the most gut-wrenching lawsuit of all came from a close personal friend of Diddy's, a fellow musician who'd collaborated with him on several hit songs over the years. This guy, let's call him Jason, claimed that Diddy had ripped him off, refusing to pay him his fair share of the royalties and profits. Now, Diddy and Jason had always been like brothers, or so it seemed. They'd been through thick and thin together, celebrated each other's successes, and even weathered a few personal storms side by side. But now, here they were, pitted against each other in a bitter legal battle that threatened to destroy their once unbreakable bond. And as if that wasn't enough, Diddy was also hit with a series of lawsuits from disgruntled investors and business partners, all of whom felt they'd been wronged in one way or another. These were people who had put their trust and their money into Diddy's various ventures, only to feel like they'd been taken advantage of. One investor, a high-powered hedge fund manager, claimed Diddy had misled him about the financial health of one of his companies, leading him to pour millions of dollars into a sinking ship. Another partner, a fashion designer Diddy had collaborated with, alleged that the mogul had cut her out of a lucrative deal at the last minute. It was like a perfect storm of legal troubles, all converging on Diddy at once. And let me tell you, the emotional toll it must have taken on him, both personally and professionally, is truly staggering to even imagine. I mean, think about it. Diddy's built this incredible empire, this legacy that he's poured his heart and soul into for decades. And now, all of a sudden, it's crumbling around him, thanks to a barrage of lawsuits that are threatening to strip him of everything he's worked so hard to achieve. The stress must have been unbearable. Imagine waking up every morning, wondering what new legal bombshell was going to drop, wondering how you're going to find the money to pay for all these legal battles, all while trying to keep your business afloat and maintain your public image. It's enough to make anyone's head spin. And the worst part? Diddy couldn't even retreat into the comfort of his beloved $70 million mansion. Because as these lawsuits started piling up, it became painfully clear that he was going to need to sell that stunning property in order to cover the mounting legal fees. Can you even imagine the heartbreak he must have felt, having to part ways with a home that holds so many precious memories? That mansion was more than just a luxury property. It was a symbol of Diddy's success, a physical representation of everything he'd accomplished over the years. And now, he's being forced to let it go. All because of these damned lawsuits that are threatening to tear his empire apart. I can just picture Diddy walking through those familiar halls, running his fingers along the marble countertops, taking one last look at the breathtaking views before reluctantly putting the "For Sale" sign out front. It must have been gut-wrenching. Imagine pouring your heart and soul into building something so magnificent, only to have to watch it slip through your fingers. I mean, this is the guy who's known for his lavish parties and over-the-top lifestyle. And now, he's being forced to downsize, to let go of the very things that have defined his success for so long. But you know what they say, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And that's exactly what Diddy's doing. He's fighting tooth and nail to save his empire, to protect the future of his business, and to ensure that his name and legacy remain untarnished. And let me tell you, it's been a true roller coaster to watch. One minute, Diddy's trying to negotiate with his former partners and employees, desperate to settle these lawsuits out of court. The next, he's in full-blown legal battle mode, unleashing his army of high-powered attorneys to take down his accusers. It's a classic David versus Goliath story, with Diddy playing the role of the scrappy underdog, battling against a seemingly endless onslaught of legal challenges. And let me tell you, the guy is pulling out all the stops. He's leveraging every connection, every resource at his disposal to try and come out on top. But even with all his wealth and influence, Diddy's facing an uphill battle. These lawsuits are relentless, and the legal fees are piling up faster than he can keep up. That's why he's been forced to make the heart-wrenching decision to put his beloved mansion on the market. He needs the cash to keep his empire from crumbling. And let me tell you, The bidding war for that property is already heating up. Wealthy buyers from all over the world are lining up, eager to snatch up this stunning piece of real estate. I mean, can you imagine the kind of money that's going to change hands here? It's the kind of deal that could make even the savviest of investors drool. But for Diddy, it's not just about the money. It's about preserving his legacy, about ensuring that his name and reputation remain intact. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about a few lawsuits, it's about the very fabric of Diddy's life's work. Everything he's built, everything he's accomplished, is hanging in the balance. And as he navigates this treacherous legal landscape, I can only imagine the emotional toll it's taking on him. The guy's been through so much over the years, weathering personal storms, professional setbacks, and everything in between. But this has got to be one of the biggest challenges he's ever faced. I mean, can you even begin to fathom the heartbreak he must be feeling, watching his beloved mansion go up for sale? That property wasn't just a physical structure, it was a symbol of his success, a tangible representation of everything he's achieved. And now, he's being forced to part ways with it, all because of these damn lawsuits that are threatening to swallow him whole. But you know what? Diddy's not going down without a fight. He's pulling out all the stops, leaving no stone unturned in his quest to save his empire. And let me tell you, the drama is only just beginning. Because as this story unfolds, we're gonna see Diddy go to the brink, pushing himself to the absolute limit in his fight for survival. It's gonna be a wild ride, my friends, filled with twists and turns that'll have you on the edge of your seats. We're talking high-stakes legal battles, emotional breakdowns, and maybe even a few unexpected alliances along the way. Diddy's pulling out all the stops, and we're gonna be right there with him, cheering him on as he fights to reclaim his rightful place at the top. So, buckle up, because this is gonna be one hell of a journey. Diddy's facing the fight of his life, and we're along for the ride. Let's see how this all plays out, shall we? Alright, now that we've set the stage and given you a taste of the drama unfolding in Diddy's world, let's dive a little deeper into the heart of this story. Because trust me, there's so much more to unpack here, and I don't want you to miss a single juicy detail. As we've already seen, Diddy's been hit with a barrage of lawsuits, all of which are threatening to topple his carefully constructed empire. And the emotional toll it's taking on him is truly staggering to even imagine. I mean, the guy's had to make the heartbreaking decision to sell his beloved $70 million mansion, all just to try and stay afloat and keep his legal battles at bay. But the question is, how is Diddy handling all of this? What's going on behind the scenes as he tries to navigate this complex and treacherous legal landscape? Well, my friends, that's exactly what we're going to dive into next. Because trust me, the story only gets more intense from here. So, sit back, relax, and get ready for an emotional roller coaster ride. Because we're about to take a deep dive into the heart of Diddy's struggle, and trust me, it's gonna be a wild one. Alright, let's take a closer look at how Diddy's been handling all of this legal turmoil, shall we? Because let me tell you, the guy's not taking this sitting down. From the moment those first lawsuits started rolling in, Diddy's been in full-on battle mode. He's pulled out all the stops, mobilizing his team of high-powered attorneys to fight back against these accusations with everything they've got. And let me tell you, it's been a sight to behold. I mean, this guy is pulling out all the stops, leaving no stone unturned in his quest to protect his legacy and his empire. He's been scouring every document, digging into every financial record, doing whatever it takes to try and poke holes in these lawsuits and discredit his accusers. And let me tell you, it's been a relentless, no-holds-barred fight. Diddy's coming out swinging, firing back with countersuits and aggressive legal maneuvers that have left his opponents reeling. It's like watching a heavyweight boxing match, with Diddy as the scrappy underdog holding his own against a barrage of punches. But it's not just about the legal battles either. Diddy's also been working hard to shore up his public image, trying to stay ahead of the curve and control the narrative as these lawsuits start to dominate the headlines. He's been giving interviews, releasing statements, and even reaching out to his celebrity friends and allies, trying to rally support and paint himself as the victim in all of this. And let me tell you, the guy's been pulling out all the stops. He's been giving emotional, heartfelt interviews, talking about the toll this is taking on him both personally and professionally. He's been painting himself as the underdog, The guy who's being unfairly targeted by a pack of greedy, disgruntled former partners and employees. It's a classic PR move, and it's one that Diddy's been executing with all the finesse of a seasoned veteran. He's trying to garner sympathy, to position himself as the wronged party in all of this, and let me tell you, it's been working. Fans and supporters have been rallying around him, offering words of encouragement and even opening their wallets to help cover his legal fees. But at the same time, Diddy's also been making some tough decisions behind the scenes, ones that have undoubtedly been gut-wrenching for him. I'm talking, of course, about that $70 million mansion that he's had to put on the market in order to try and stay afloat. Now, I know we talked a bit about this earlier, but I can't even begin to imagine the emotional turmoil Diddy must be feeling as he watches this stunning property slip through his fingers. This mansion wasn't just a home to him. It was a symbol of his success, a physical representation of everything he's achieved over the years. And now, he's being forced to part ways with it, all because of these damned lawsuits that are threatening to swallow him whole. Can you even begin to fathom the heartbreak he must be feeling, walking through those familiar halls?